John Wayne B.
Yeah. Yeah. Look. Too hot, the haters know they can't fade us. Headed to the top, just stay tuned for the latest. Soon as the episode drop, they gotta play us. All I know is we got the flavor.
What's up? It's your boy Los, LOS from the Flava Podcast. You are listening and watching Chicago's #1 podcast. What's up? My partner is back in town. She's back on the table.
Been missing for a little bit, but I'm
Suli,
here.
Yeah, she's here. What you been doing? What's going on with your life?
Oh my God, so many different changes. Well, last time we talked about I dropped off baby to college. Since then, I kind of took a step back as from doing sales with the company and allowed my girls to kind of run that. And I've been doing more of the background work, just, the wholesaling, the marketing, the business administration, all of that. And then I started pursuing my career for fashion merchandising with Macy's.
Okay.
So I got a cool opportunity to be a part of their new concept they have going on right now.
Okay. So come around me. So if you don't know, Suli is a serial entrepreneur. She has multiple businesses. Can you tell them your businesses?
We have the CMOS business. We have the shapewear line, which we're turning into not an MLM, but kind of like direct sales, wholesale. The microblading, which I'm taking a step back from.
You know my wife wants to get in there.
I know. I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do. I think I just got a new client, too. Oh, no.
There you go.
And then my fashion degree that I went to school for, I went to Columbia College for fashion merchandising and business administration. So now I get to finally have the time to pursue that and the ability. If it wasn't for the business and the girls that I have now, I wouldn't be able to make these new moves.
So you're finding it easier having people running the sales for you?
Definitely not easier, but it definitely progresses the business to the next level. It's new challenges.
So there are some hiccups.
Yeah, always. There's always good days and bad days. It's just figuring out how to fix those bad days to make the good days run smoother and more good days coming along.
Okay, so you have a storefront. So I know people see you and they know who you are, whatnot. They haven't seen you on the show for a minute.
I know.
But let them know where your shop's at, like that. They know where to go to.
So my location where I'm at, it's on Montrose at 3635 West Montrose and Albany Park. So that's where I'm at, working on having somebody take over that location as well. But right now I'm doing both.
Okay. So your new position, your new job for Macy's is it buying clothes? No,
it's a lead captain, so I work with the visual merchandising, just kind of like the flow of the shop. We do management as well, too. The goal is to become a buyer for Macy's, but that would require me moving to New York. So I want to give myself 2 years to kind of understand their concept of this whole new boutique thing they have going on, kind of learn how... we're going to talk about it. Their market research, the marketing, learn what is Macy's, what they're looking for. So once I get to that buying position, I'm going to be a lot stronger asset because I'm going to know the Macy's clients from the ground up. So it's my own little way of trying to earn my stripes and then kind of show why I deserve the position. So
awesome.
They already know the concept. And then Bianca lives in Vermont, so I would love to be the last 2 years New York, close to her. So it's all kind of like God has a funny way of making things work together. I had no idea the buyers were in New York, and I'm like, hey, Bianca's over there. So
awesome.
Let's see what happens.
So we had an event Saturday night.
Yeah, I know.
At my house, and we were waiting for the dessert for quite a while.
I know the dessert fell asleep on the couch.
What happened? We were all waiting for you. We had the lechon. We had the Puerto Rican rice. Ron brought
pupusas.
It was actually good.
Yeah.
That was the first time having it. It was actually pretty good.
It's a Central American thing. So
yeah, he's also
a Salvadorian. I'm Guatemalan, so it's really kind of close by.
Okay.
So we eat pupusas a lot too.
Okay, yeah, it was good. It was good. So what happened? You fell asleep?
I fell asleep, and then my grandmother passed away earlier this week. So we actually had the funeral Wednesday, the burial on Thursday. So it was kind of like a lot going on. I felt a little drained and stuff. My grandma lived to 97 years old. She was the healthiest person in our family. She had a great life. We celebrated her birthday this year, the whole family, and we had the amazing opportunity to go say goodbye before she left us. So what more can we really ask? She went peacefully. She had a great life. Her whole family was there. My cousin flew in from South Korea. I had other family that traveled from Orlando, Florida. So it was beautiful. It was a great moment. What else can we ask for?
Okay, well, you have a great excuse for not showing up. can't talk about that right now. So, we got crackers. We're good.
You guys had pupusas.
So I had a pretty good week. I went to Jennifer Sanchez's business event.
I saw that.
Yeah, it was pretty much fun.
Yeah.
Went in there, did my thing, and I got a standing ovation. At least I thought in my mind I got a standing ovation.
You brought the flavor to the show.
I brought the flavor. I did bring the flavor.
Yeah.
I had a good time. So anybody wants to hire me, bring some flavor. I bring the flavor. I bring the sazon.
Yes.
Sofrito if you want that too.
Yes.
I got that.
We got to season it all up.
But right now we have somebody on the table that I'm adoring. I'm really adoring this person. That this person's a good person in and out. We're gonna find out a little bit more about this person. She is another entrepreneur doing great things. If I get this name wrong, she's gonna tell me I got it wrong, and it's okay because we be doing stuff like that up around here. But Iliana Moran, did I get it right?
No, I think you did Spanish. It was Spanish English. Spanish English.
I said Moran. Is it Moran?
It's
Moran.
Iliana Moran.
Moran. Oh, Moran. You
But
see?
that's okay.
You see?
It's okay.
And she's, oh my God. Okay.
Moran, whatever.
Moran.
So,
She made me nervous.
oh my gosh.
So how you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you. How about yourself?
I am doing great. You're here. My partner's here. We're doing it fast. My brother's in the back doing the switching.
Cool.
We're doing great.
Yeah, this is really different for me.
How's it different for you?
Well, it's the first time I've been able to venture into a podcast. In fact, I will share this with you. I've asked everybody about podcasts, including my children.
Okay.
I said, okay, what am I supposed to do at this thing? And so, but thank God that you educated me today. 5 minutes, but I got it. I mean, it was a quick tutorial.
It was a quick be you.
Yeah, be you.
Be you. That's all we can do in this show.
yeah.
Be you. Yeah.
So, hey, listen, I'm excited to be me.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So tell the people a little bit about yourself. You're an entrepreneur. What are you entrepreneuring in?
Okay, so I am in market research, and we are on all levels of market research. So what I mean by that is just that we don't only collect the data. We also analyze the data because we have people that would analyze it, and we do have moderators that moderate the studies, and then we have our associates who bring the people in, and then we have our project manager. So it's multi-level type of market research. I've been doing it for 30 years. I think I shared my story with you guys, but one thing I did not finish that day. Can I finish it really
Absolutely.
quick? Remember when I said that I had a client, and my first project was with Kinko's.
Okay, I did.
And excuse the expression, but I really screwed that up really bad.
Okay.
Sorry if any pastors are listening right now. I really screwed it up so bad. And this person brought us, in. I asked my husband to come with me because if I'm going to get beaten up, he's going to come with me.
Okay.
He's going to share the pain.
He's going to share the pain. Okay, he's not there to protect. He's there to share the
He's
pain.
sharing the pain.
Okay.
And so we sat there, and I mean, I've never been. Chancleta has never been used on me as bad as it was on that day. And so that was a project I thought I was never, ever going to forget. And I didn't. But I will say this way, I didn't share with everyone. That client that beat me up on that day and just tore me to smithereens is still my client.
Come on, somebody. Come on. You won that person back.
She and I are actually really good friends. I call them my Jewish moms. There's three women that have really kind of networked me and have built me up and stood by me and always said, don't worry about it. You're going to see yourself through this. It was three Jewish women, much older than I. In fact, one of those women, Karen Berger, still works for my company when I need her.
Okay.
And she's like in her 90s.
Okay.
Right? And then I have Karen Shapiro, who was the one that beat me up so bad. But, and she worked for Adler Weiner, and I'm hoping I can.
Was it like a really bad tongue lashing?
It was so bad.
Okay.
I mean, I think she wiped the floor with me.
Okay.
In fact, she wiped the floor with me.
But you still came back.
She came back.
She came back.
She came back.
Okay.
So, and I think she understood how I thought and what I did in order for me to win back her trust.
Okay.
And I told her I'd do the entire study over for her for free.
Okay.
Awesome.
The fact that I said that, she was very happy about that. And then I was really concerned that I wasn't going to get paid for it. In fact, she asked me not to do it. I didn't have to worry about that. But my concern was that I had to pay my employees, who I didn't even know what an employee was at that time.
Okay.
But I had to pay them. And so I didn't think I was going to get that check. And so, of course, my husband and I, and praise God that, my husband is, he's blessed. And so I said, I'm going to have to get some money off you guy. Honey, I need some money.
Yeah.
And so I didn't have to have the money because a couple of days later I got the check in the
The check
mail.
came in.
And she and I are, and all three women are still my mothers. I call them my Jewish moms
Come on.
until this day.
Come on.
And so it's just, I tell people, I says, when you're about to open a business, you're taking a leap of faith. You're really trusting in what you believe you can do. People are not going to look at it from that perception until you prove your point to them. You know what you can do. Not everybody else does.
Right.
And just because you mess up once doesn't necessarily mean that you have to give up on that. That means you,
It's a test.
exactly.
It's about how bad do you want it.
Yes.
You could have just said, you know what, I give up, I messed up, it's not for me, keep it moving. But you said, I'm going to put all my eggs in a basket, I'm going to redo it for free, and everything just worked out itself.
Absolutely.
Because you passed the test, you showed how your determination.
Absolutely.
And those are the hard times that we go through business. Not everybody thinks, oh, you're a business owner, everything's successful, you're making money. No.
Yeah.
There's a lot of rough days, and I love those stories so
Yes.
other people can realize you're not the only one. We all go through it.
Yeah, when you're about to embark on something, I tell people, don't use the give up spirit. Give up, I know what I can do, and I'm going to do it whether you like it or not. And you're going to fall a couple times, you really are. But you're going to get right back up. Again, I've been doing this for 30 years. I'm not only in Chicago, but I'm also in Florida and New York and California, all the major cities. I have amazing clients, but I had to build that up. And I'm not saying that it was easy to get these clients, but I networked myself, but then people started to network me. And I gained the trust of all these people.
Nice.
And then until this day, I'm saying I still have to keep that trust. My son is taking over my company, but I'm still at the forefront of my company because I tell people, especially the ones from way back when, they know me, right? And so they don't know my son yet. But my son is bringing in the younger market researchers, right? And so those are his clients. So I still have the people from way back when, and he's bringing in the new clients. It works out well for both of us. But those clients that I'm slowly but surely letting them know that, kind of walking away, not walking away, but that my son is taking over, only for all due respect to my son, that if they ever have any issues, I'm still going to be around. It doesn't mean that I'm not going to be there, but I will be there.
You're not going to be somewhere on the beach somewhere?
Well,
You'll take the call. No.
Yes, and so I've been doing this for 30 years, and it's been an amazing ride. And so my son, when he said, "Mom, I would like to take over the business," and both my boys have been to the armed forces. They both been Air Force, and so they finished that off. I said, "You just got to get your paper. Doesn't matter if you did the Air Force. When you get your paper, then Mom promises that you will be able to sit in."
And by paper, what do you? I know what you mean, but for the viewers.
His diploma.
Okay.
Yes.
And it's really important to have that piece of paper. I have seen people that lost a job because they didn't have that paper. No matter the experience you have, in a lot of ways, that paper is still important. And people will say, "Oh, it's not important." It really is important. I have a daughter who is extremely successful, and she lied on excuse, and she allows me to talk about
Okay.
this.
I thought you're just putting her out there, but go ahead.
I'm putting her out there, girlfriend. But you know what? She made a mistake, and she told she was almost degreed, but she wasn't, and she said she was, and it was a great job that she lost because of that little thing there.
Yeah.
That she said,
Yeah.
and I tell people, I says, if you don't have it and you're working on it, don't say you have it, just say I'm in the process of getting it. And she lost a fabulous opportunity. Not that she didn't recover from that, because she has recovered from that, but she learned from that.
Yes.
She learned from that, and now she is my kid's teacher, saying, "No, let's get this done."
That's good.
Nice.
That's good stuff. That's good stuff. Right now, we're going to be taking a commercial break, and we'll be back.
Hey, you guys. This is Suli with the Flava Podcast Network, and I'm here to let you know that this episode is brought to you by Zoe Hammond with Dreamtown Real Estate. Now, are you looking for a realtor with years of experience in the Chicago and Chicagoland area to help you sell your home, find the perfect property, find the right rental, or even help you find the perfect tenants for yours? Well, Zoe Hammond is here for all of your real estate needs, and you can contact her at 773-891-6867. Now that's Zoe Hammond with Dreamtown Real Estate at 773-891-6867. And we're back, you guys. Flava Studio here, your co-host Suli, and of course, the host with the most, Mr. Carlos Los. How you doing?
I am good. We're having a good interview right here. But right now, we're going to ask you some questions, and then I want you to pick this one or that one. When I mean by this one or that one, I'm going to ask you questions like, well, do you have this one or that one? Or do you like this one or that one? And you have to explain why you're picking that one. Yes. So you ready?
Yes.
So here we go. Camera on her. White rice or Puerto Rican yellow rice con gandules?
White rice.
And why?
I believe that the white rice it absorbs a lot of the other flavors that you add with it, like the rice and beans, whereas the yellow rice already has all the flavor. The white rice does not. So it will taste a lot better, like with chicken fricassé, pollo fricassé. Yeah, so good, right? Because it's like a mushroom, right? A mushroom absorbs the taste of anything else that you add with it. That's white rice.
Okay.
So you couldn't go wrong with white rice. I am not a fan of
I think right now Suli even likes you even more for saying that. I was like, oh, Suli's going to love that answer.
Already we talked about a little bit about stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah, we did. I did. Yeah.
So, I usually say Superman or Batman.
Superman or Batman?
Or you can switch it up to...
I was about to say,
Switch it up, yes. Wonder Woman?
Absolutely.
There you go.
Yes. Or who else? The Bionic Woman.
Okay, all right. I've never done Bionic Woman, so
Yes,
let's
but
go.
We can do Bionic. I like the Bionic.
Okay, why?
She's self-made.
Okay.
Believe it or not, even though she has all these components in her, realistically speaking, she has to learn how to use all that stuff, right? I mean, not that we don't, but we do that as a child. She was bionically made at a certain point, and she had to learn from that point who she was and how to use all those. So she's in a sense self-made in a sense, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like really self-made.
But I think she's so much hotter than the other girl.
No! Linda Carter?
Yeah,
Linda Carter?
I bet. Yeah, and she always was winking and stuff like that. She's much sexier in a sense. Yeah. So
what was her name?
I forgot her name.
See?
But she has blonde hair.
Because she's no Linda Carter. That's why. Because she's no Linda Carter.
She's no Linda Carter. I think it's because actually Linda Carter came into the picture way after the Bionic Woman did. The Bionic Woman was with the Bionic guy. What's his name?
The $6 Million Man.
$6 Million Man. That was way before the Bionic Woman. So of course you know her, and you don't know the person that I know.
No, I know who she is. I know who she is. I just like the look of the Linda Carter Wonder Woman
We're going to have a
character.
problem here. Yeah, you know,
She's Latina.
Okay. And there is a level of sexiness there. There really is. But there's a lot of sexiness with the Bionic Woman.
Okay, I'll give it to you. All right, that's your preference. That's your preference. So, Tom or Jerry?
Tom and Jerry?
Tom or Jerry?
Well, I mean, okay. Oh, that's Ben and Jerry's, the ice cream.
Yeah, we're not talking about the ice cream.
I can really get down on the ice cream. I think, which one is the fast one? Is Jerry the fast guy?
Jerry's the mouse.
Yeah,
and then
Jerry's the
Tom's
mouse.
the cat.
You know, there's a lot of spiteful, devious type of things with mice, right? So I'm going to go with the mouse.
Ooh.
Okay.
She has a little dark side to
her.
her.
Yeah. Most entrepreneurs do. Remember when Ron was here? He said the entrepreneurs got a little dark side to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, there's sneakiness, you know. And I mean, and look at how many people fear them, as opposed to a cat, right?
Okay. So if you were listening to any kind of music, would it be R&B or salsa? Or can we just change that around? Is it something else? Because I'm a jazz person.
Okay.
So if someone told me Latin jazz or salsa, I'm gonna go Latin jazz.
I like jazz.
Okay.
And that's all kind of jazz. So including Latin jazz. I do. I'm not into rock and roll or anything else like that. Although I should have been. I was raised in that kind of a neighborhood. But at home, my parents, my older sisters and brothers, since I'm one of the young ones, salsa was played quite a bit at home. I have a lot of friends that are salseros. You may know one of them, Miguelito, and yes, and so he's a really good friend of mine. In fact, Miguelito worked for me many years ago.
Okay, all right.
And so he and his parents and I are very good friends. But so I listened to that, but I personally like instrumental jazz.
Okay, yes.
That's what I like.
Live.
Instrumental jazz.
It's live. Yes. I used to have a night here in Chicago at the AG Lounge where I brought Latin jazz to the community, and we always had a great time.
Nice.
I love listening to the trompetas and the congas and the bongos and timbales. And
Right.
that just makes my day.
Right. I mean, it's a sense of listening to percussions and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That kind of moves you, right? I
yeah.
mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that the lyrics don't, but sometimes we listen to the lyrics more than we listen to the instruments.
Well, that's the whole thing. We didn't. There was no lyrics.
Okay. No, but that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
why I like
yeah.
instrumental
Yeah,
jazz.
yeah,
But I get it.
definitely.
That's awesome. So I get that. You know, we're in sync.
We're there. We're pretty much with a lot of things.
We're in simpático.
Yeah,
We're
sí, sí.
simpático.
Yeah. So, any this or that for her from you?
No, I can't think of anything. I'm actually really excited to dive in.
I know you're dying to get into what you got over there. I see you're cooking up something over there.
I'm excited. Well, my thing I want to kind of ask her is, how did you get started? What made you want to take the route to become a market researcher? And then the challenges being a woman, a mom, and a business owner.
And Latina.
Yes. The most.
So many years ago, you know, again, I was working in a building, a high rise. I was a project manager there, and I had a friend there that he wanted me to go and design his home and his tree. And he was in market research, but he was doing it for the Anglo market. And so then he invited me he says, hey, listen, you're Latina, you know, let me pick your brain, and would you like to do this for me as far as working the circus and collecting data, because we need that for the Hispanic population. I want Hispanic people, although the questions are in English, all right? And so I said, sure, not a problem, I'll do it. I mean, I'm always willing to do something, especially he was a friend, and he was asking me to do a favor. He goes, but no, this is how we want you to do that. And he goes, I need you to get me 10 other people. And I go, oh, okay. So I got 10 other people. I go, I have to pay these people. And so then I kind of was thinking about my mom. My mom's 4'11", feisty. Man, if I learned anything about finances, I learned from my mom, because you know she was a single mom, raised 6 kids on her own.
6 kids.
On her own, yeah. And she always found a way to make sure our needs were met. And my mom was very and out of all her kids, I'm the one that picked that up. You know, she'd always pay the principal on time, make sure that you pay above, you know, if you have a mortgage, pay on the principal. She taught us all that.
That's good.
And so I decided that, where was I going with this? I'm sorry, because I went off on a
was your
tangent.
question?
Like,
How did you start getting into market research?
okay, and so then, and his name was Pat, by the way. And so then Pat said, okay, I'm going to get you to circle, give me 10 people. And I said, cool, not a problem. So I did that. I wasn't sure if that's something I wanted to do, collect data in the circus, you know. But then I saw what I was paying them, and what I was able to charge the client, right? And so I paid them their honest salary, but I was able to put double the amount on the client.
Okay.
And I said, I can get used to this.
Yeah.
I could really get used to this. But I still wasn't sure if I wanted to give up design. And then that was the house that I shared with people when I said I got my first check from my first project. And so when I got my first check for my first project was That was the one project that I had to pay people up. And that one, I think it was like $5,000-6,000 we got for that one. And I said, okay, I'm good with this, not a problem. But then when I got the other check, and he finally paid me my $200 or something for what I did in his house, and I got an $11,000 check. There was just no way I was going back to design.
Yeah.
Right? So I had to make it work. I said, I really want to start doing this. This is what I would love to do. And it wasn't that. I mean, I have 4 kids at home. I didn't have to work outside of the house, but I wanted to do something, right, in my house. And so, I told my husband, I says, I would like to continue doing this. He goes, go for it, And I said, okay, cool. And so I was able to reinvest everything I made back into the company.
Okay.
That's what I did. I reinvested everything that I was making to the company. And that's what grew my company, was the fact that I kept on investing. And I was able to do that, praise God, because of my husband. I was able to do that. But I still wasn't sure if this is something I wanted to do, because I wanted to be able to just raise my kids without any distractions, right? And then I kept on doing it, and people, my Jewish moms, started to network me after that Kinko's project. Now, she can get you Latina, she can get you Latino, she can do this, and she could do that. So they were hyping me all up. I really didn't have a choice in the sense to say I know what I'm doing. So I gave myself a quick learn is what I did for the beginning of my company. Now I am always reading and I'm always learning, because in market research, it is a very fast field. Like you said, trends. I mean, they're here one day, they're out the next.
Yes,
they're researching one thing one day, forget that, we're moving on.
Yeah.
You have a political party. I've done a lot with the RNC and the DNC, helping them collect data, so on and so forth. But it took a lot of what we did in order for us to get and I say we because I have a fabulous staff. Right. Most of the women that worked for me 30 years ago are still employed by me. They're still working for me. Wow. And so it's what we did and what they did, because I give them a lot of the credit, that we're able to be there until 11 o'clock some nights when they should have been at home with their children at 5, So you have a community of people. I have a community of people, or had a community, and until this day I do, that will go out of their way and make sure that we're meeting the needs of everybody. Because they know that in order for me to succeed, and for them to get paid, we all have to succeed.
Yes.
And so that's the attitude that we've taken all these years. But what kept me going was the fact that I had women that are working for me that had children. And I said, I can't turn my back on them now. And now their kids are working in my office.
Awesome.
Nice.
Their
That's
kids
awesome.
answer our phones,
Okay.
And then when they go off to school, we kind of help them out.
Nice.
Yeah. So that's what growing our company. But I had to learn all that. I had to learn how to understand other people. I had a study one time where it was a milk study, and we had to go to the mall and collect data on milk, right? And so the incentive was like $4 or $5 or something like that. That's what we pay people, because we pay people for whatever they do for us.
Yeah.
And it was like $4 or $5, and the girls, one of my staff members are knocking on my office door, and she goes, "This lady's here for $5," and I can always kick myself in the derriere, but I've learned. It was a learning moment for me. I go, she came all the way for a lousy $5.
They'll do it.
And I could kick myself in the derriere, because $5 for a person means a carton of eggs and a gallon of milk.
Yeah.
May not mean that for me, but for that person
Yes.
who came all that way for $5.
Yeah.
That's when I understood, especially the people that work for me. These people are like any other person. They have to make a living. They have to make sure that they're feeding their babies. And that right there, that one moment right there was the moment that I understood.
It was a light bulb moment for you.
It was an extremely light bulb moment for me. And I can kick myself in the derriere. But what I've learned, that's a learning tool for me now. Anytime I pay my people or give them bonuses or all these things that you offer them, it's a necessity, because they, like you, have to live as well.
Yes.
They come to work, they're there on time every single day. All the projects are complete. You have clients that love you, and they love you not only because of your sense, but because of them, right? And you have to treat them as such. That's why when somebody asked me this question at the Kingdom Builders, how do you keep your employees? is by making sure that you and your employees are at the same level.
Yes.
I'm no better than they are. When they have to scrub toilets, I'll scrub toilets.
That's right.
I don't ask them to go get me a cup of coffee. I'll
love
ask them,
that.
do you need a cup of coffee?
Yes.
Do you want
love
lunch
that.
today? Those
That's good.
things. Grow
You're
a company.
a part. It's like the leader that's just like leading, pointing, and directing, and then there's the one that's there with them, hauling the things and saying, we do it this way, instead of saying, hey, I need you to do this and
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
It makes a huge difference. And then that's your motivating factor, just making sure that they're good, because their success is your success.
No, it is. It is. And what they do for you.
Yes.
It's amazing. I mean, I have women that will come, they drop off their kids at school and they're at the office. And this is where I tell you about time, and they're on time all the time.
On time is the
On
best time for me.
Yeah, and not only
Get
that.
there early.
Yeah, they don't take time off. So that when they do take time off, I value it. I just had a girl that had an accident, and she's salaried, and my son comes into my office, Mom, what are you going to do? And I go, you're going to pay her.
Yeah.
She's been with me for 25 years.
Yeah.
There's just no way I'm not going to pay her for being
Yeah.
this, because it's not her fault she got into an accident, but she still has to live.
Yeah.
And God has provided for us that we're able to pay her. Pay her.
Come on, somebody.
Not only that, I want to keep her for another 10 years, right? Because I
Yep.
don't know how long I'm going to be around. But I mean, you want to keep these people because they're good.
Yes.
You know, you don't want to. I mean, I'll be frank with you. The work ethics of today's kids is something to really think about.
It's trash. Just say it. It's trash. It's trash.
It amazes me. And I always say this to people: responsibility is taught at home.
Yep.
Responsibility. I've never handed my kids $10 without saying you have to do this for $10.
Yep.
There's just no way. If you're going to clean the garage, okay, fine, I'll give you a little allowance or something like that. Because what you're doing is you're teaching your kids
Things are earned, not given.
exactly are earned, and not only that, but they're going to have a family one day.
Yeah.
They're going to have a family.
good.
They have to be able to provide for that family,
Yes.
and they learn from home. Unfortunately, right now, there's a lot of entitlement out there. There's a lot of kids that are, Mom, I need a phone. They get the phone.
Yeah.
My kids didn't have phones. I'll be honest with you, I did not buy my children phones. They had those flip phones, and all they can do is dial 3 numbers.
Yep.
The most important numbers: 911, mommy, and Mima.
I love it. I love it.
So, and that's what keeps my company going. And I do have young people working for me, but they have to work under the restrictions that everybody else did. And they're no better than those people. I have people coming into my office. One young lady came in, I won't be in tomorrow. I had to look around. When she said that, I go, oh, and why is this? Why won't you be in tomorrow? And she says, well, because I have a soccer game I have to go to. And I go, okay, well, you can go to your soccer game, but we don't need you back. Because that's not the way, my people that have worked for me for years would never come into
That's
my
not-
office. I have the day off tomorrow. They'll go meet a jefe, because they speak Spanish.
For a soccer game.
For a soccer game. And it wasn't a soccer game like a child, this was a young girl.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a soccer game at her school. She wasn't part of the team. I mean, she was just going to go watch it with her other friends. And I mean, had she come into my office and said, I have this really great day planned for tomorrow, and unfortunately I may not be able to be here, but what is, is there anything that you need me here for?
Negotiate, yeah.
Yeah, something like that, then that would have been an entirely different story. But she came in with a level of entitlement. And when you start doing that, that can cause a poison, that can cause a cancer in your office.
Yes.
You don't want to start cancers in your office. If you see some bad habit already starting, give it the opportunity to correct it. But if it's not corrected, then you have to cut it, because it will become a cancer.
Yeah.
It will.
God, we're sort of like, you're like my twin.
Yeah?
You're
I
my
like
twin.
being twins.
And we're twins. We're twins.
And I love the glasses. I mean, it's all about
Vamos,
that,
vamos,
right?
vamos. So you talked about your family a lot.
Yes.
You come from 6, right? Or so
Family
was it
of
7?
6.
Family of 6.
Yes.
But your own, a family of 3, 2?
Well, so we have 4 children.
4 children, okay.
So I have 2 born babies, which is Michael and Tyler, which you met. And then I have 2 daughters that I call they're my husband, from my husband's previous relationship.
Okay.
But they're my daughters. I raised the girls.
Bonus daughters.
Since bonus daughters. I like that. So I have 2 bonus, and they are a bonus. I'll tell you, they are absolutely amazing. And so Courtney has 2 masters.
Woohoo!
in
Go
education.
Courtney.
She
Okay.
loves. She specializes in math and science. And Desiree is a director for Paychecks, and she does really well there. Really
Okay.
well. She is really blessed. And then my son Tyler works for me, and my other son does the same thing as well. And again, never they don't. They're not. They've always worked. They've always worked, and even in high school, we've never had to worry about them. You know, I never had to. You know, they didn't feel entitled to anything, and until this day, they are extremely hard workers. Extremely hard workers. My son Tyler is going off on his second home. My son Michael's on his second home. And if they need a loan or something like that, my husband and I will provide loans for them. But yeah, they have to pay it back. And the only reason why they have to pay it back is that's how you learn.
That's right. That's
How you
right. So you're married. Been married for how long now?
Not long enough.
That's right. We talked about that. We talked about that earlier. Not
Yeah,
long
not
enough.
long enough.
Yeah.
30 years. And everybody says I'm still in love with my husband.
Amen to that.
And I'm talking in
Amen to
love
that.
with my husband.
Where did you meet your husband?
So I used to go to this deli.
And what's his name again? We're saying
husband's name
husband.
is- I keep on saying my husband. Sorry about that, honey. Michael. My husband's name is Michael. And we met, we used to go to a diner. And I would go to this I would go before him. So I started going first, and then he started going. When he started going, I was like, oh my God, who is that man? And, Lord. And so, you know, we kept on looking at each other, and the girls would sit with me, and I love burnt toast. I
Okay.
just love burnt toast
All right.
with preserves on there, right? And so we kept on looking at that, and so that I'll bring that back in a minute. But one day, finally, I said, "Good morning, Michael," because I had asked, you know, I had asked the chef there,
Who's that
you know,
guy?
Who's that guy? And
Okay.
since he was there almost every morning, you would think everybody knows everybody's name if they're there almost every morning.
Yeah.
Well,
Right.
I know everybody's name if I know them, right?
Yeah.
And so, and I go, "Good morning, Michael," and he walked away. And then he goes, "Oh, he goes, but before he walked away, he goes, your toast is burnt." I go, "I know." So the burnt toast. But anyway, the next day he came and he's walking past me and he goes, "Hey, listen, I'm at a disadvantage here. You know my name, but I don't know yours." And it was history from there. It was history from there.
Over burnt toast.
Yeah, over that burnt
Like, hey,
toast.
your
But-
toast is burnt.
Yeah.
And it's in
And then he walks
there,
away.
and it's- Yeah,
Toast burnt.
it's
But
love made.
he would share with our friends now when we get together and they ask that same question. And Michael would go, "What I always saw," and he was just all about those Latina lips. I go, "Honey, you really need to stop." And so, but today's, I mean, I can still say honestly, and not that we don't have our ups and downs, because we do.
Yeah.
Not that we don't have our disagreements, because honey, I do. More than he does, because my husband is one of those laid back, they had, let her finish up, he's a white man that just sits in the corner and says, "I'm just going to let that Latina come out of her," and then I'll revisit
They're like the
this later.
patient ones, but we're over there like,
Yeah. Let the world fall on me.
Yeah.
And I'm okay. And I have a son that's like that. Let the world fall on me. My son Michael. Tyler is all me. And so we're at that point right now where we're empty nesters. And I thought it was going to be so difficult because, before it was the kids were actually taking up a lot of our time. So it wasn't a lot of time we were consuming with one another unless we had our vacation dates. Our vacation dates were no more than 4 days. But we did that quite a bit without our children. Okay. And so I was going with something with this, I'm sorry. But anyhow, with the vacation dates, we were, so anyhow, what was I saying?
burnt toast.
Burnt toast. So going back to
And what your husband was saying for the people
The
about your
empty
lips.
nesters. And I'm actually kind of curious on that because
empty nesters.
as entrepreneurs, I don't know what your husband does. Is he an entrepreneur as well too?
No,
or-
my husband is not.
Okay.
But yeah.
But sometimes finding, when you're dating entrepreneurs, finding that time to maintain your relationship, the home, and the kids, and then your own personal self and care. So I like that you mentioned you have your personal vacation dates without the kids.
Right.
That was for you. Did you did more things like that to make sure maintain like, okay, this is our days, like, or once a month date days or something.
Yeah. So that started from the inception of our relationship. We always have, until this day, we have a lot of fun together. We laugh a lot. I tell people laughter is so good. And don't take each other so serious most of the time. A lot of, especially, I'm going to be honest, women, We have this thing, it's all about our emotions sometimes, and we let them get away of our relationship. But what I've learned at those the dating vacations, we learned more about each other because we weren't with our kids. And so it's not that we didn't date when we had our children. It's just we did something different. So even if we took the kids out for dinner or something like that, we would bring them back home, and then Michael and I will probably watch a movie together in the theater room or something like that. But the kids were either in bed, and we were in different rooms.
Yeah.
So we had our moments. We really do. And again, I'm going back to this and telling people, there's so much more to learn from somebody that you're married to. There is. Every single day I learn something new. The other day I just found this dark thing on my husband's back. Didn't realize it was there. And it's been there for the 30 years.
Oh, wow.
It's been there for the 30 years. But these are things that you're open, that
That's
we're
awesome.
open to listen. So when people do ask me how long have you been together, I always say not long enough, but it is 30 years, almost 30 years. How did we get to this point, and how do I don't say separate, but how do I balance that off? Initially, I had a very good family support. I had wonderful mothers, I had sisters and stuff like that. I never allowed my children to stay the night, even at my mom's house. So everybody would come to our house to stay with our children. But it wasn't a whole lot. And the people that did stay with my children were people that they knew. So it was never a stranger or anything like that in our home. And as far as me time, I have me time all the time.
Nice.
I take care of myself all the time. I make it a point. I don't put myself first. I don't put myself last. I just put myself there. That's just it.
I like that.
Yeah, I just put myself there. I'm very, how can I put it? I enjoy being alone. I say that quite a bit. And the good thing about my husband is so does he. So when I am having my me time, he's having
his time.
His time. It can be on the golf course, which I'm not allowed because I talk too much.
I've seen that in one of your posts. That you were not invited.
Because I talk too much, but it's because it's really boring on the golf course. I was talking to myself when I got kicked off. But those are just the little things that you enjoy and you laugh at, and we can still laugh at. We just laugh at a lot of things. Life is too short to be taken so serious. Our faith has a lot to do with it too. Yeah. Our faith, our marriage is grounded on our faith. And I tell people that if one person is not of the faith and one is, that other person needs to come to the faith.
Yeah.
You have to find a
Yeah.
way.
And on that point, we're going to commercial break. Be right back with the faith part. Hey, what's up? It's your boy Los. And if you're trying to be on our podcast, you can reach us at los@flavorpodcast.com. If you are entrepreneur, you are a singer, you are a dancer, you're an actor, you're a politician, you want to get a word across, you got something good going on in Chicago, New York, Miami, wherever in the world, we're here to showcase you and to put you out there for people to help you out in what you're doing, all right? So that was Los, L-O-S, at flavorpodcast.com. So we're back, and we're going to be talking about faith right now. So where are you in your faith?
Well, I am a minister, and I have a ministry called Transformation Meets Grace. And this ministry is under my brother's church, which is in Florida. So if I'm going to preach, I go over there to preach, I teach. But we house our ministry here on Addison Street. And what we do is, I tell people that my ministry is introducing the heart of God to God. The heart of God is the lost, right? That's who Christ died for. And so that's what our ministry does. I mean, we do have a brick and mortar, but I'd rather be out in the streets, ministering to people, or like what we just did for Thanksgiving, giving baskets out, or feeding the homeless at Pastor David's church. We at that New Life, we gave out the backpacks. Our ministry supplied the backpacks.
Oh, you
for
did you?
that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
Because our ministry is a giving ministry. That's basically what we are. We minister to women and men now. But I've been in this ministry for Transformation Meets Grace 10 years. But prior to that, I've always been involved in ministry, in one capacity or another.
So do you go out to the streets?
We do.
Okay.
We do. So what we do during the summer months, the winter months, that we go brick and mortar. Or I go to speaking engagements in Chicago, which I have a couple for this month, not this month, next month in January. But we like to go out on Madison and Western. You have a core of people there that just really want to hear. And it's not even that they don't want to hear about. It's not that they want to hear about God. It's not that they want prayer. They want somebody to listen.
Yeah.
Right? Because all we do on a daily basis is talk. Right? But we don't really sit down to listen to people. I'm not saying you guys. I'm saying me.
Understood.
I'd love to talk. I think you'll notice that. But anyhow, so our ministry is that. We're just there. We're to provide the love of Christ to people. Whatever's on your mind. Do you want prayer? No. Do you want to talk about something? Yes. I'll keep my mouth shut. We listen. Some people just need somebody to listen.
A sounding
to.
board.
A sounding board. This is what's going on in my life. My father is this. My mother is this. My parents are very happy because of where I am and stuff like that. And you just let them just relieve themselves of all that pressure that they have on them because they do think about those things. And they want somebody to understand. And then you introduce the love of Christ to them. And he said, I have a friend.
I love that approach.
Yeah, I have a friend. And that's all we do. We don't stuff the word of God down anybody's throats. It's not our job to do that. And I shared that with you earlier. Our job is to show the love of Christ no matter who you are. It doesn't matter who you are. That's our job. And that's what our ministry does. And we
That's
come
good.
alongside churches because we are a giving ministry. And if I see that the church is a giving church, we will provide as much as we possibly can to that church in order to provide.
Yeah, I love that because you don't have to say the name of Jesus to show love, to show his love.
Yeah.
All you do is show his love. They're going to see it. They're going to know it. And then they'll say it themselves, or they'll give you the opportunity for you to bring in the name of
Absolutely.
Jesus,
And by listening, you're able to plug it in there in a way that they need it. Instead of just generalizing, you're telling them, and they're asking, oh, well, what you're going through, did you know? Like you said, I have a friend.
Yeah.
And then they're more receptive of the information.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Right. A lot of people are being swayed away from the church because of the way and I was just sharing this with them. I hope you don't mind me saying this.
No, go ahead.
It's just how the church's perception on things, and unfortunately, those people that don't understand the church are driven away. So if I'm going to invite somebody to New Life, I make sure that there's one of my girls are there to be with that person at least for the first two services. What I mean by that, if 2 Sundays, well, there's somebody there to meet them and sit down with them so that they can walk in and not walk in alone.
That's pretty dope.
That's
Right?
awesome.
That's pretty dope. I like that.
It's important. People won't because they feel intimidated. It's not that it's warranted by what's going on in the church, but that's just how the person feels.
Yeah.
Sometimes
Yeah.
we have to understand that,
Yeah.
right? And so we've made it a point to do that in the ministry, and also these people that are out on the streets that you speak to and you share for that one moment, right? And one young lady that we spoke to, she's in our ministry now. Now she comes on her own to the ministry. A lot of the people that we do speak to, they come to the ministry. Even if it's once a month, they'll come there and just to listen. That's all they want to do, sometimes listen, or we listen to them. But we were placed, unfortunately, in a position, especially Christianity was placed in a position that we sometimes felt that we had to utilize a divide in order to make that person feel good about whatever position they were taking on anything in life, right? And that shouldn't have to happen. That person should be able to walk into the church understanding no matter how you feel about anything, we are all children of God when we walk into a church.
Amen to
We're no
that.
less, we're no better. It doesn't matter our politics. It doesn't matter any of that.
We're all equal.
Right. We all are loved by God because the Word of God tells us, and I only go to one verse, our Father loved the world so much that he gave his only begotten Son, that none of us will perish, of course. But he loved the world, right? He didn't pick and choose to love places. He said the world. And so in order for us to understand that, we have to understand that Christianity as a worldly thing and not box our Father. And sometimes we box the Father.
Oh, yes, we do.
And we say, well, you can't come in here because you believe like this, or because you act like this,
Or you
because you're
look
wearing
like this.
or you
Yeah.
look like this. And unfortunately, a lot of pastors are not speaking about that. And we have to start dividing the church as to who has a lot of money, who doesn't have any money, who, is giving, who isn't giving. We have to stop who's politicized, who isn't politicized, who's gay, who isn't gay, I'm going to be honest with you. When I woke up this morning, I didn't wake up this morning to the person that's my husband next. Is he gay or not? I mean, you can't do that. So I had a conversation with somebody on the phone. I'm very much into the migrants and what's going to be happening with the migrants pretty soon. How they got here, it's irrelevant. It really is.
They're here,
right?
They're here.
They're here. They're here. And so I'm not going to ask them. What is your status in this country? It's not what I'm going to ask them. How can I help you?
Yep.
How can I help you? And that's what we're supposed to do as people that love the Lord.
The love of Christ. That's
The
showing the
love of
love of Christ.
Right, the love of Christ.
You just keep getting more and more amazing.
Doesn't she?
Yeah.
Doesn't she?
Oh, I'm sorry.
She didn't want to be amazing.
Thank you. I think that God has given us all those hearts. God has pierced our hearts for a reason. And however you want to use that, then you do. But the pastor this morning said it. If you don't read the Word of God, you don't know God. That is literally your conversation with God, unless it's the Word of God. And then in prayer, of course, the intimacy, goes here. But in order for you to understand that intimacy that you're going to have with the Father, you have to know who He is. In order for you to know who He is, you have to read the Word. It's just like when you wake up, when you were born, right? You didn't know who your mom was, but when you started walking, she started feeding you, and you started having conversations. You knew who she was. You knew she was mommy. That's my mom, right? In order for you to know that's your mom, you got to get to know your mom. The same thing applies to the Father.
Yeah.
Same thing applies to the Father.
Love it.
Awesome. So you had some questions about CMOS.
I do. I do. Well, first of all, she was telling me it was a probiotic.
So it's kind of like more like a nutritional pill, so like a multivitamin.
Okay.
But it does work like a probiotic because it does help with your gut. So it's
Okay.
helping kind of build that good gut bacteria, regulate that metabolism, and just kind of get that body flowing and moving the way it's supposed to be moving.
Yeah.
A lot of the times we don't realize we are in a nutrient deficiency, especially we're not outside getting enough vitamin D. So we need to supplement that. And I tell people instead of taking 20, 30 different pills, one for vitamin D, one for calcium, one for potassium, or one for magnesium, you can get in one spoonful of CMOS, one spoonful in and out. I believe my partner over here forgot his dosage this morning.
I did, and I need it. I need it so bad. It's funny because I didn't believe it in the beginning. I was like, this CMOS not going to give me energy. This little spoonful. When I'm taking all these big old shakes and Red Bulls that are killing you and whatnot, but the CMOS is actually good for you. It's actually giving me the energy in the morning that I need.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely hooked on the CMOS.
Well, I'm not hooked yet, but I'll definitely try it. Yeah. And then maybe I'll become hooked.
Yeah, then you'll be calling Sudi all the time. Drop me off a case.
All I need is 2 days. 2 days. That's all I need. But after day 2, they're hooked.
Yeah.
So I wanted to go back a little bit. We kind of talked about how you started in entrepreneurship. We talked about your family. We talked about Christ, of course. But who were you when you were a child? Who were you when you were 10 years old?
Well, and I'm going to give you an example of who I was.
Mm-hmm.
So my mom took a picture of all her kids, and I was the only one with my tongue hanging out.
All right.
So I was like,
I knew
I was
it.
like that. I was like, and everybody else is so serious, right? So I have, like I said, there's three girls and 3 boys, and with the exceptions of my sisters that are twins, I asked my mom if we were adopted, and they weren't, or whatever, or if they were adopted, because they have no sense of humor, whereas 4 of us do. My brother, the pastor, he'll get up and preach, and he is like, the Holy Spirit is moving him all over that pulpit, right? And he's just so joyous, and we laugh and we have a lot of fun. I see myself as that. I see myself as that young girl. I think I was like maybe 5 at that time, and I was sticking my tongue out. I'm more than sure my mom kicked my derriere out. And I was sticking my tongue out. But that's in a nutshell is who I am. I try not taking life too serious.
Okay.
I believe that life is too short, right? And that whatever we have to do right now, we're either going to approach it with a sense of humor, and understanding that there are some dynamics in your life that you have to, you have to get there, and you have to be serious about those things. But I really think my approach on life is looking through the lens of trying to make things or people happy, right? It's not always going to work that way. Or to, jokes. I have this thing about, just having a sense of humor and jokes and stuff like that. If I'm with my girlfriends or something, it's never a serious moment unless it has to be. And we try making it not that it has to be serious.
Yeah. Right.
We try to make sure that, our approach, at least I do, at least my approach on life, is one that has to be serious in a sense because life is so difficult at times, but is approaching those things and how you're approaching them. And it's not always in a way where it's going to overwhelm you, depress you, or, you're under stress and stuff like that. We put that on ourselves. We really do. We can handle a situation, and I'm not saying for you to smile and to be happy about it. I'm just saying don't allow it to stress you out to the point where you're not getting out of bed.
Right. Don't let it destroy you.
Right.
Yes.
Exactly. And you're walking around, and you can tell because you're hunched down, and your life seems so... You're depressed and you're not happy and all these other things. It's you're a Christian, you're supposed to be like that. Absolutely not. No. We're supposed to be Christ-like, But God gave us emotions for a reason.
That's right.
And He knew we were going to use them, otherwise He wouldn't have given them to us. So we're going to be some sad days. There's going to be some days where we're trying to think what's going on in life. But the reality is your approach to those days. How long are you going to allow yourself to be put in that, in that position? Am I going to, all day and soak all day because something like this happened? Or are you going to get up and you're going to dust yourself off and you say,
keep
Lord,
it moving.
I'm ready. What's the next step?
Yep.
Because the pastor, I think he said it this morning, something about the process. And sometimes we have to. We got
to go through the process.
got to go through the process. And you're going through that process. It's how you go through that process.
Exactly. That's good. That's good stuff. So, who was Iliana at 17 years old?
Oh my gosh, tell my mom. So let me go back a little bit when I was 13 years old. No, let me see. I was in grammar school. I didn't care what Mom said. Mom was a strict mom. And she didn't allow us to go out. She didn't want me hanging out with friends. We lived in a very good neighborhood. I mean, we lived on the north side of Chicago, on Montrose and Ashland. I don't see why she didn't want me to go out in that neighborhood. It was a great neighborhood, right?
Uptown.
But, Mom is, Latina mom's very strict. This is how I want things. And I was saying, no, Mommy, I'm sorry, but that's how I'm going to do it. And so I would get my derriere kicked. I mean, I went to baseball games when I wasn't supposed to go to baseball games. I was supposed to go to my girlfriend's house when I wasn't supposed to go to my friend's house. I would invite people over to my house to sleep over without my mom's permission, knowing I was going to get my derriere kicked each day. That's who I was. Until this day, in a way, I'm somewhat still like that. Okay. Because I feel like that's how it's going to get done, right?
And so, just to stir the things a little bit. Shake it up.
You got to shake it up a little bit. I call it a leap of faith. I'm going to do it because I'm trusting God. I didn't say that back then. I was rebelling.
Yeah, I was going to say that. That's rebelling.
I was rebelling against Mom.
The leap of faith was when I hope the bobbin's not that hard.
Right. Yeah. It was at the metal part of the belt.
So that was at 13, doing whatever I wanted to do. At 17, I started to realize where I didn't want to go. And that was because of all the bumps in the roads or hiccups in the road that I took from like a younger age to the age of 17. Life wasn't really good at that point because at that time, I left home at 18. And you don't leave a Spanish home at the age of 18. That is definitely uncalled for. And so my brothers, my two older brothers, who for us, they were the patriarchs of our family. And they still are. But they sat me on the front porch on Montrose and Ashland. They said, I wanted to move out with my friend from school for college. I'm sorry, Mom, but things are different over here. And my brothers, sat me down and tried to give me that last, advice and piece of advice. And they said, if you move, we're going to be able to tell you I told you so. And so my mom gave me a broken toaster when I left the house.
Is that where the burnt toast love started?
Probably, That's a good metaphor. And so, Mom, she gave me my toaster, and I'm walking down the stairs, and my brother goes, "You're going to come back and told you I told you so." I'm 65 years old, and have yet to say I told you so, because the best thing my brother said was that they were going to say I told you so.
And that was the fire that you needed.
She said,
"Oh
"No,
no,
they're
you're
not."
not."
Yeah, no, you're not. But you see, that's how we all are.
That's that Latina in us.
Yeah. And so around that my high school age, I mean, I went to Whitney Young for a year, and that's where I kind of learned it. And I saw life a little different when I went to Whitney Young. But then I wanted to come back to Lakeview. That's why I went to Lakeview. Because all my friends from even grammar school were still there. And they're still my friends until this day,
Awesome.
by the way, from the 4th grade and on. And we kind of seen each other through, until this day, we see each other through. And so the age of 17, I was into anything bad that you can think of. I did the drugs. I did all that. I did everything everybody, I'm not saying everybody, but that the people in our group did at that time. And we partied.
Yeah, because I don't do those. I never done those things in my life.
No, not
ever.
And, we started really early, and and there was a whole lot of disrespect to my mom because that's not how she raised us to be.
Right.
But you know what? Like you said, you start, and I'm not going to blame the people I hung out with because the choice was mine.
That's right.
Yes.
I made my own choices. And so those people see me now, and they're like flabbergasted.
How?
Yeah.
Como?
Yeah. They're like, they used to, in fact, my friends would call me, I grew up as Pucci, they would call me at home.
Oh,
And so
wow.
yeah.
They call me Pucho at home.
Oh, my gosh.
That's so funny.
I'm telling you, we're
Oh, my
twinning.
God.
We're twinning.
So they call me Pucci at home, but some of my friends got, you were able to be around to learn that name as
They
well.
got a whiff of that.
So nobody in my family, but my sisters still call me that, and some of my friends still call me that. And they're going, "Oh, Poochie, we can't believe her." I mean, because there's a lot of other hiccups that happened to me in the road, and a lot of redirects. I call them redirects that I went through, and they saw that, and then when they see this one where I've been in. God has held me back here for the last maybe 40 years or something like that. A level of consistency and the importance of what needs to be done as far as my life with everybody else. But they see me now and they're like saying, "Oh my gosh," And they call me for prayers. The Jewish women,
cool.
Jewish moms, I need you to pray to your God.
Come on, somebody. I need you to pray to your God. That's awesome.
I have clients that know who I am and respect the fact that I am who I am. It's because I don't hide that part of my life. It is part of my life. In my office, my staff, if my doors are closed, they know I'm in there praying. So they won't come near.
Would you say like your past is who helped create the woman that is sitting here today?
I believe so. So when I was growing up, I used to see everybody driving like Volvos and Mercedes Benz,
especially in that neighborhood, yeah.
Yeah, and it's not that I was jealous, but I'm gonna own one of those cars one of these days, and that I held on to that hope, right? I held on to that hope, and I've tried other things like in design. I loved design, and I just said I don't think I'm going to get there with that, but I can still use that, right? I always had something of fallback. I tell people that are in business, make sure you have a fallback.
Yes.
And make sure it's not your husband. Make sure you have a fallback. And I learned that. And until this day, I use that. There's two things I can fall back on. I can fall back on my company, or I can fall back on design. And now that I'm kind of taking a back seat to the company, whereas my son, and I'm trying to let him be his own man with this company and respect everything. And it's not easy. It's not easy because I know who I am.
Yeah.
Right? That my son could sit there and take over the company, and he'll still come into my office and he'll ask me for advice. Mom, how do you think I should approach this? That's where you want your children to be.
Yes.
That
And
they
I want
res-
to.
Huh? Go
Oh
ahead.
no, I said I do want to take it back because I love the fact that you created this amazing company. You have your son that's taking over the company. Both sons, I believe.
One.
Just one.
Yeah.
So they're taking over the company, and then you're going back to your passion.
Yes.
Yes. It's not done.
No.
That was on hold because something else was bigger for
Right.
you.
It was bigger for me. And now I'm afforded the opportunity and being able to do it. It's basically it. Because it was noteworthy, I'm sure, when I said I got $200 and something, $11,000 here, right?
Yeah.
I knew that this is going to grow my family.
Of course.
Didn't realize I was going to get to this point. I'm going to be honest with you. In this business, I just thought it was going to be like maybe something for a couple of years or so. But I kept on learning, and I kept on educating myself and investing in myself to get the company to where it is today, right? And so, yeah, for me, I held on to that passion. And the good thing about it is that I haven't been doing design for 30 years. So my approach today is very fresh, right? I mean, mentally, friends, you go do things in somebody's house, staging and all those other things. But that is not really diving into your passion.
No.
It's the paper and it's the graphics of it all, right? And so now I have that opportunity, but I don't mind it doing it because I am not forced to do what I want to do. I'm not forced to do that design. I'm not looking for that check when it comes to design.
Yep, you're doing it for satisfaction.
Right. And so I'm at that point. And I tell people, once you succeed, and you don't have to be a millionaire or a billionaire. I tell people, you don't have to be a millionaire or a billionaire. And we're blessed. But I tell people, I said, you can be happy with just loving what you're doing. As long as you're providing, everything else grows. I mean, I don't know how financially, I don't know where. For some reason, I got to this point, right? Don't get me wrong, I had to depend on finances for my staff and to make sure that the bottom line is covered, right? But I always looked at the bottom line and didn't look at the revenue.
Get there. Oh.
Right? The bottom line covered all my expenses. That's I would tell my son, make sure you're looking at the bottom line before you're looking at anything else. Make sure your staff is paid before you're paid.
Yep.
Make sure everything else is done before you think you're going to be able to
put anything to the side.
People say, how do you do it? You don't rape your accounts.
Yes.
What you do is you make sure you pay for everything first, especially those people that are working for you. Mm-hmm. And then whatever comes out of that, you put for everything else. Save some and then you put some for yourself.
Yep.
Right? So people have to get to that point. People have to get to that point. And some people don't succeed because they don't look at it from that perspective. But, yeah.
No, that's really good advice. That's really great advice.
Did I answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay. I know, because I do talk a lot, so.
So, no, you're good.
I
You're
go
good.
off on tangents.
So, looking into the future for the next 5 years, of course, we don't know what's going to happen. Let's say, I said 4, actually. What do you expect to happen in the new upcoming year in 2025 when it comes to your business or business in general?
Well, it really depends because research is always up when the economy is not sure because researchers and companies want to know where people are spending their money, right? So it's always up. I do have to worry myself. I have to, let me take that back. Because it's not true. I'm more concerned about other people than I am about myself, and that's because of my son that's taking over the company and making sure that he is going, at least for the next who knows how many years, that he's going to understand what avenue to take should anything happen, and make sure that you're safe. And what I mean by safe is make sure that you have enough in that bank to cover you and to cover the people that are working for you. That's what you have to do. The next 4 years to me has already been solidified. And what I mean by that is I already know what's coming, right? You already know what's coming. We've experienced what's going to go on the next 4 years. It's how you're going to approach it.
Right.
My approach is going to be the same as my approach whomever takes office. Be the same, be consistent, and don't allow anybody to tell you can't do it.
Yes.
That's the only way because realistically speaking, half the people that are looking to the next 4 years is everybody else. It's everybody else. Everybody is looking to the next 4 years. Everybody's wondering what's going to happen for the next 4 years. Everybody should know what's happened. It's very obvious. Just because somebody says it doesn't mean they're not going to do it. They're going to do exactly what they're going to say. They're very consistent. And that's when you start analyzing people or start analyzing things, there should be, you go to church and you listen to the pastor, and the pastor is going to be preaching on Jesus, and so everybody knows about Christ, right? And everybody knows, hopefully everybody knows everything that pastor is preaching, right? So we know about that. people have been preaching about what's going to go on in the next 4 years for who knows how long.
Last 10 years.
Right, last 10 years. So it's not that we're walking into this next 4 years blinded, because we're not. It's your approach to it. I don't agree with it. A lot of people don't agree with it. Are we going to put up with it? Absolutely not. But you're not going to stop living, and you're not going to stop doing what you're doing because somebody has a different plan than the plan that you had. Your plan still has to go forward, because our plans are not based on man. Our plans are based
Come on, somebody.
on faith.
That's
It really
right.
is.
That's right.
Because had I not based my business on faith, I wouldn't be here today. Because there was a lot of ups and downs. And there's been economies that have been up and down. There's been who knows how many different presidents within the time frame that I've been in business. And I never looked to them in any way, shape, or form
And how your business is going to go.
on how my business is going to operate, how my family is going to operate, how we do things as far as our faith is concerned. None of that changes. It shouldn't change. The only thing that changes is what's going on in Washington. You know, and unfortunately, what's going to be happening to some people that are going to be taken away from this country. But the reality is that no, I don't have any concerns. I don't think if you're in the faith, you should have concerns.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Loving that. Loving that. So what do you see without that, put that one to the side, for you in the next 5 years?
The next 5 years, I'm going to be honest with you, I don't have but one grandchild, right? My kids don't think about kids. And so I just bought a home about a year ago.
Okay.
And in Elmhurst. We were living in Oak Park, like I shared that with you guys. And so my husband and I are reconstructing that home, and we have a couple areas that need to. That's going to take about maybe another 6 or 7 months, maybe a year or so. It's all about me. And I don't mean by that, and I'm not being selfish here. I'm not being selfish here. But I have a greenhouse. And so I like to take my vegetables, I like to cook, I like to bake, I like to do things. So in a sense, I'm going to be thinking about me, right? Everybody else is going to be thinking about these negative things that are going on in this world when there's so many other things that we can be doing, right?
Like growing our own food like you are.
Right, just and grow my family and make sure that I'm present for my family. That's not for the next 5 years. That's for the next who knows how many years. The next 5 years is not going to it's dictate who I'm going to be with my family. You know, the next 5 years is who I'm going to be with my family, right? Because I can sit here and say, this is what I'm going to do the next 5 years with my family. All that can change in a minute, right? One day at a time. One day at a time. Tomorrow is promised to no one. I mean, I know that it's something that's just being said, but it's so very true. You know, I have friends that were here one day, they're not here today. You know, I have one friend that just passed away not so long ago. She hit a wall and she's no longer here. So you just never know. So live in the present. And I understand a lot of people are within the next 4 years, even with the good and the bad and stuff like that. Everybody's just, you know, when you sit down for a job interview, what is your plan? What can you do for us for the next 5 years? Well, hey, come on, give me a break. That's 5 years. I don't even know I'm going to be here. Ask me what can I provide for your company maybe the next 6 months.
Yeah.
And especially at my age. If you were younger, like you're so young, you know, you're such a
Not
young
that
man.
much younger. We talked about this.
You know, I mean, you can say what's going to happen. I'm 65 years old, you know, and being 65 years old, I have to just say, what am I going to do for the next year or so? I believe the man upstairs is going to have me around for a very long time.
Let's go. Let's go.
But my next 5 years is just really growing my family.
Okay.
And hopefully my children are going to, you know, get married and have babies.
Have babies to give you.
That's what I mean, because the business is done. Home life is done. Marriage is amazing.
Travel?
Right?
It's just enjoying yourself.
Let me just share about travel with you. So when I started my company, I had to travel quite a bit, right? And so travel for me sometimes becomes a little bit difficult. And the reason why is because I did it so much on business that now I lived like in hotels and airports and stuff like that.
You just don't want to see it.
It's just like, even on vacation, it's like pulling teeth. But I know I have to do it for my husband. When I get there, I'm very happy, don't get me wrong.
Yeah, it's the process.
So yes, I will
So it's the
travel.
planning part that gets you?
It's
Or the packing?
It's the getting
In
there
there.
part.
I'm on a plane. I don't want to be on a plane.
Another plane. Spain, please. But yeah, we travel. My husband and I travel a lot. In fact, we start January. Every January we start traveling, and we do our 4-day vacations or dates and stuff like that.
Yeah.
We want to do a lot more domestically. We've done the Europe thing. We've done all that already. We want to. I told Michael, there's so many beautiful things domestically that you can do, and I tell him, and it's not in Florida. Florida's the last
Thank
state I
you,
want to be in.
Jesus, no Florida.
Oh, I mean, and I'll say,
I love Florida.
Thank you.
But not all the time.
No, and not only that, but I mean, you go to Florida now and you walk down the street and there's fulana de tal that you just saw at last week's birthday party or something.
Yeah.
Everybody
That's
is there.
right. That's right.
Everybody
Like, I'm
is
trying
there.
to get away from you guys. And you're here.
You're here. You're
Don't you live
here.
on Kildare?
Yeah.
Kildare? Yeah.
My brother has been trying to convince me to move to Florida for the last, I can say, 10 years, and it's never
It's not happening.
been the place where I want to be.
So, favorite place in Europe?
Favorite place in Europe, I will say, was Florence in Italy.
Yeah.
It was Florence.
Okay.
They have some great vintage shops there.
Okay.
They really do.
I can
Didn't
see-
care
I
for
can see that.
Morocco. Morocco is one place I didn't care for.
Why not? I plan to visit, that's why.
It's very different for me. I was extremely intimidated in Morocco, and I think I was intimidated because of their perception of women. Not everybody is, up in the times as far. They're still going, women are still not as valued as they are here and stuff like that. And so I kind of sensed that when I was there.
But how did you like the arts, the buildings?
Well, I loved the structure and stuff. I'm
Yeah.
not into all that.
No?
To be honest.
I love structures.
Give me the structures here. I'm not into caves. I'm not into all that stuff. Don't get me wrong. The first, it's like I told my friends. I go, Iliana, we're going to Paris. My friends just came back from, I don't know, but it's an amazing place. And they go, oh, we went to the Rhineries and we went to do something historic. I go, I can look that up on
On YouTube.
on the internet or YouTube now. I don't have to go anymore, But it's just not. Some people love it. Okay, I love the tropics. So
Okay.
talk to me about Bali.
Yes.
Talk to me about the
Bali.
Virgin Islands.
Yeah,
Talk to
yeah.
me about Puerto Rico.
Okay.
Talk to me about
Costa Rica.
Hawaii, Costa Rica. Talk to me about that. That's me.
Okay.
That's me.
Yeah, I'm more of a Spain kind of dude, Barcelona.
Yeah,
Yes, okay.
Barcelona. So, quick story. I was going to go to Barcelona.
Uh-huh.
We messed up, and we ended up in Playas de Mal. Was it?
Madrid?
No, it wasn't Madrid. I wish it was Madrid.
Playas de-
But we ended up in a spot. It was on
Magala?
the coast of. It was on the coast of Spain, and. It wasn't my cup of tea at all in any way, shape, or form. And it was because I didn't go to Barcelona or Madrid, which really is where the people that you want to be around are at. This was on the coast. It was Playa, no, not Playa de Mal. It was something. It was.
If it's with an M, I'm just thinking it's Magala.
No, it was on the coast. It was on the coast. If I think of it, I'll bring it back up. But yeah, we went there. Spain was beautiful. Don't get me wrong. We drove through the whole thing. But again, I'm not into. I love history. I'm not a history buff.
Oh, I love it.
I loved Europe and I loved Italy, but that will be my last time I go. I did it once. I'm done. And trust me, we did the whole. We traveled the entire.
What about the food?
Yeah, about that. So when I was in Germany, I didn't like their food in Germany. I didn't like the Germany
I just think
food.
about German food. It just no.
Right. In United Kingdom, didn't like the food.
Same thing.
Yeah, right?
Do they use salt?
I don't think they use anything. I mean, bland, and then they give you these things that it's just there's no color to their food. It doesn't even look beautiful in any way, shape, or form. And so Barcelona's different. I mean, in Spain was different.
Love it.
Oh yeah, there was color to their food. Paella was amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, when it came to
The other ones, it wasn't okay.
yeah, no. So Germany, but what I loved about Germany is that they love their pets there. They treat them like kings, and I love pets. But not only that, but they're very clean. I mean, you could eat off the floors in any station that you go there.
Nice.
Transportation.
Nice.
I mean, you go. I mean, it's amazing, and you can eat off their floors. And you can eat off. If you walk into a train, you can eat off that floor. They're very clean. They take care of whatever they have. They're very good at that. And so I was. Spain was good. Didn't like the coast that much. Europe is fabulous, love it, but I've already done Europe. Just send me to all the tropics now.
So what is on your bucket list? Where are you guys starting?
Bali.
Yeah.
Definitely would love to do. And Portugal. I would love to do Portugal. Everybody's kind of doing Portugal right now. So because everybody's doing it, I want to see what the fuss is all about. So I would love to do that. But Bali, I would. The only thing I'm not really, how can I put it? It's the amount of time it gets you there. And it's like 19 to 20 hours.
Wow.
And if I can't deal sitting on a plane, and I'm very active, I move around a lot. I mean, in flight, if I'm more than 2 hours, there's a problem.
We need to get up and stretch.
Yes, I need to get up and stretch. But yeah, so that I would love to still travel. But for me, domestically, there's so many good things to do. Road trips are fabulous. You get to see so much on road trips.
Yes.
Right. And now that it's just Michael and I, and nothing else is taken away from the attention that we used to give to our children, which we still do, but at a different level. Now we're able to just really
Take your
experience
time.
it, right?
Yeah.
Experience it, take our time, and enjoy it.
Nice.
Right? Yeah.
You said in January you guys are going to start your traveling. Where are you guys going?
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. I've been debating, and because of what's going on, I told my husband, let's just do Puerto Rico right now. Puerto Rico has some great golf courses. They really do. There's one at Playas de Mal, where we stay, and they have an amazing 18 course, golf course. And Michael loves it. And so and it's only going to be 4 days. And so I
Okay.
said, let's do that. But in the interim, what I did is I rented a hotel room downtown Chicago in January as well. And that's
Okay.
going to be
Like a little staycation.
for a couple nights.
Okay,
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, that's what, just to,
Being tourists in your own town.
be a tourist in your own town. There's a lot to do here.
Yes.
There's a lot to do here.
There's
So,
always
yeah,
new
yeah.
restaurants,
That's-
new events, new
Yes,
venues.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to January, and then Michael and I will start planning our year out.
Okay.
For travels and see what we want to do. I may want to be a little different, and I may do that Bali, no matter the length of time that it takes to get there. I think I'm still going to do that as well.
That's awesome. That's
Yes.
awesome. I'm having a great time.
Are you?
Yeah.
I'm getting to know you better. 'Cause
Are
I knew
you?
I liked you already.
Oh.
I'm beginning to love you now, girl. I'm beginning to love that. So, last question.
Yes.
If the Lord will give you a superpower, what would it be?
Oh my God. That is intense.
There's so many
I
different
told you not
powers.
to ask me those kind of questions, and you did.
Yeah.
A superpower. To go back in time.
Okay.
To go back in time. There are some things that, even though I grew from them, there are some things I would like to have changed. Right? Like some things that you have said, I mean, I think time. If I had a superpower, I would love to change time. Is that what you're asking me?
Yeah.
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 Because the changing time of a superpower,
Yeah,
I
it
would
is.
think
Is
that-
it? Don't we have
absolutely is.
Doctor Who?
Absolutely is.
going back.
You said you got Doctor
Doctor
Who?
Who? Yeah, doesn't
Doctor Who? He goes back in time in the
time machine,
in
right?
the phone booth.
Yeah. I think that would be so powerful.
Yeah.
But change your time or others' time?
No, mine.
Just yours.
Yeah, just mine. I think other people can change their time on their own. I mean, people have to get to the point to understand whether or not they need to change that time. I'm not here to change your time. I'm here to change mine. Right? And it's just things that I did or things that I said or just I could have done this differently. I mean, we still do that today. Like yesterday, there was a couple of things I could have done differently yesterday that I didn't do. I would love to change that. But I think that just going back. Just going back and say, you know what, Lord, let me go into that file cabinet. Take me back to that, Lord. I would just really like to see how I would do things differently there, right? So time, I think, would be, for me, a huge superpower.
Awesome.
No money, nothing like that. Just time.
This time.
Yeah. How about you?
Me?
Am I okay?
If
Is
I
it
had
okay
a-
if I ask you a
absolutely.
question?
Yes,
I mean,
that was
I mean,
good.
I'm
She got you back.
I know she did. I'm like, G-boss. If I had a superpower to heal,
To heal.
I would love to have the superpower to heal people.
Oh, okay, that's nice. That's nice.
I see a lot of people hurting, whether it's mentally or physically. I would love to have the power to just place hands like our Lord and Savior did, as He said we would, do greater things than Him.
Yeah.
I would love to have that and just to heal people that are, and they're hurting.
Yeah.
They're hurting. Yeah. So now we got to pivot to what would be your superpower?
Oh man, mine's is not that great. I just want to fly.
I love that.
Have you ever had those experiences where you fly in your dreams and you just wonder, is that what it really feels like? Because I have the butterflies in my stomach, so I would love to be able to fly and see how far up I can get.
That is a
That's it.
superpower, though.
Yeah.
Wait, you want to see just to see how far you go? You want to fly
I just
across?
want to fly.
Or you want to fly
just-
to Europe
just
or
everywhere.
Tahiti?
But I just want to get to experience the feeling of flying. What
That
does
scares
it feel
me.
like?
That scares me.
I know. It scares me in my dreams too. I just
Yeah.
wonder if I would be scared in real life or I'm scared of heights.
So am I. So that scares me.
So it would be interesting. It's my superpower. Am I going to be afraid of it?
You were going to say something?
No, I was just going to ask her. So, are you referring to flying more as self-flying, or like
Yeah.
in a bubble, or in a plane, or?
No,
Okay.
self-flying. Just me
Like
flying
Su-
like
like
a
Superman
bird.
or
Yeah,
Wonder
like
Woman.
Superman.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Just to be able to
Not,
fly.
not like a Wonder Woman invisible plane kind of
Yeah,
thing?
and I get to miss traffic. I'm gonna be on time everywhere.
Be on time.
Yeah, right.
So they'd be like,
I'll be late.
I'm on my way.
Still putting on lipstick while I'm flying.
That's
Hurry up, get
Carlos's
my
first
bag.
text.
That's funny, yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
Iliana, thank
Yes.
you for being on the show. And I want to tell you that you have flavor.
I love
She's
this.
gonna need that when she travels to Europe.
I think this is very clever. This is unique. This is, but then you are too.
Thank you
That
so
is a
much.
compliment.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Sazón.
This is adobo. That was adobo.
Oh, adobo. Sazón is
Sazón, yeah.
Gee, I'll tell you. You know, I just learned how to make Puerto Rican rice when I was 50.
Okay.
Yeah, because my sisters were much older. They did all the cooking, right? So yeah, that's the only thing I know how to make in Spanish food is rice.
It must be good.
I hope so. Hey, listen, my husband likes it. That's all. And he brags about it. She makes the best rice. That's just my husband for you. You know.
Hey,
Awesome.
as long as he
Awesome.
loves it,
Yeah,
that's what
as long
matters.
as he loves it. But my brother-in-law's really good at the rice he makes, and my husband goes, she makes better rice than you do now. So, but it's just a very proud husband, right?
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Thank you for having me, though. I
Oh,
really
no, thank-
appreciate this. I had a fabulous time. This is my first time doing something.
Yes, yes.
So yeah, I can just check this off.
Check it off. Check it
Check
off.
it off.
Bucket list.
Check it off. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. So, this was Flavor. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment. Let us know how you like this interview. Well, one more thing, so we can't forget. Any tags? Where can they find you if they are interested in your business?
They could actually go to marketease at AOL.com. That's my email address, or market-ease, www.market-ease,
It's this
MQQC. I knew I was in a mess up.
It's her first time.
She was looking for it though.
Yeah, she was.
Yeah.
I was like,
I'm looking
And then
over
she
there
just
because
picked
you were
the
looking over there.
no, I'm looking over there because it's my camera.
Right. And for ministry, Transformation Meets Grace 23 at gmail.com. Yeah. Yeah.
So, again, like, subscribe, and comment. Let us know how you like this episode. Sully, you want to end it?
What did you guys learn from this episode? I think there was just so many, especially like business owners. There was a lot of golden nuggets there being, like, what do you call them? Nuggets of information?
Nuggets.
Nuggets? Okay. Nuggets. Not chicken nuggets.
Not
learning
chicken nuggets.
Yeah.
So let us know what you guys learned. I know we have a lot of business owners that are followers. So I'm curious on that. I know I learned a lot.
Amen. So, once again, thank you.
No, thank you.
Iliana Moran.
Thank you.
Let's
oh my God.
go. Let's go. Let's go.
And what a way to end the show.
Yeah.